Hello and welcome to the final round. I'm Stephan Bonnar, your host, alongside Matt Holt and the New York badass Phil Baroni. Special thanks to Bitcoin Direct and CG Technologies powering the sportsbook here at the Palms. So, man, a lot of big fight news going on. We got the Bellator pay-per-view card for the first time this weekend. The UFC fight night coming up. But first, a little talk about the hottest fight to come to Vegas in a long, long time, and that's Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather.
Look, and I think that we're going to do more handle on this fight than any boxing match that we've ever done in history. And as an example, when Manny Pacquiao fought Floyd Mayweather, it broke the record for us. We did $7.4 million in handle that day. And we're on pace now to do anywhere between 12 to 18 million, and this thing hasn't even got really ramped up yet.
I haven't even got started, and you're already at 5 million.
And the bets are unbelievable on both sides. So what's interesting is 92% of the bets we've taken so far are actually on Conor McGregor, but all the bigger bets are on Floyd Mayweather. Like we took a $50,000 bet to make $5,000 on Floyd already, but every guy that's betting 20, 50, 100, 200 is betting Conor McGregor here. So it's going to be really interesting. Right now we have a mid-six-figure liability to Conor. But I know a lot of sharp guys who say they're going to bet Floyd. They're just waiting because they don't want to tie their money up for 2 months. I expect that the week of the fight, we're probably going to see seven-figure bets come in on Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Wow, good God. See, me, I just don't like that idea.
Right when the odds move too. Smart time to bet.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of guy that's going to lay down 10 G's to make a G. It's not me. Sorry. I'm more the kind of guy.
It's a silly better. It's a silly betting mentality.
$20 to make a couple hundred on Conor. He's got a puncher's choice. Did Floyd Mayweather get old in the last 2 years since his last fight? He's 40 years old now. Who knows? Who knows when he's going to slow down?
Smart money says, no way.
Well, here's
the dummies think that.
Yeah, here's the way to here's the way I always analyze this fight. In Floyd's last fight against a proven boxing champion, no matter how good he was, it was 1-35.
Berto's super good. Real tough, durable. Tough, hits hard, strong, good
and you
endurance.
had to lay $35 to make $1 on Floyd against Berto. Yeah. Now a guy who's never fought's only 1-6.
Yeah, when you put it like that, that makes a lot of sense.
And he's white. He's Irish.
And he's white. He cuts easily. He has thin skin.
Yeah,
like
that's not going to happen.
You done, Baroni?
Yes.
Can I do my show, Baroni?
Good.
All right. Well, the big news. Finally, the Bellator is going to pay-per-view.
I made a mistake. Sorry.
I'm not even going to... No, I don't want to know. Okay. Pay-per-view Bellator for the first time ever. This card's stacked. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's way better than UFC card. You know why?
Way better.
This is why, though. This is the reason why. You know the fucking guys. It doesn't matter how good they are. You know the guys.
Yeah.
All those guys, you know who they are. You have, some kind of emotional attachment. Who gives a fuck about the UFC guys? I'm a dozen guys. I don't know any of them on the card. I don't know who's Joachim Christian and Dominic Reeves. I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to watch that fight. I want to watch Tito fight. You know what I mean? Or Vanderlei Silva fight. I know those guys.
Well, back to Phil's point, Bellator headlining the card, Vanderlei Silva versus Chael Sonnen. This fight was supposed to happen a couple years ago in the UFC, but they tried to get their Chael failed to test dirty, and Vanderlei did his best Forrest Gump impersonation, just ran the hell out of the gym, then closed his gym down, moved the hell out of Vegas, and he's been back training in Brazil for this fight. So Chael was here training. I know when I was training for my fight in Bellator with Tito, USADA...
And he couldn't do nothing.
USADA wasn't involved, but still, they were testing me out of competition. A lot, actually.
Vanderlei's very smart. He went down to Brazil. When the USADA guy knocks on the door, he has a Brazilian flag on. And he speaks Portuguese. My friend. Give me a sample, my friend. So Vanderlei's going to come in like pride. Chael's going to come in like,
like he looked at his last fight.
The 45-year-old fucking garbage man. Just get fucking stomped.
So that's
Just
my
get
point.
stomped.
I'm waiting to bet on this fight right now. Chael's a slight favorite at -150, but I'm going to wait to the weigh-ins. Vanderlei looks like the old Vanderlei from Pride, and Chael looks like he did in his last fight
that's too
against
late.
Tito.
But it's too late then. You got to do
I'm
it
gonna be
now.
throwing it down.
You got to do it now. You got to use your mental ability and say, listen, why
that's
the
true.
fuck is Vanderlei in
Brazil
training?
training for
Why?
this fight.
Why?
And
Better
also,
training in America.
not to mention,
all the best Brazilian guys train in America. That's weird. I wonder why. Because fucking they can't get him down there. Can't get him down there. He lives in Nevada. Why the fuck would you want to come here? Why would you want to be here? You know what I mean? You wake up in the morning and fuck.
So, yes, Vanderlei Silva is an underdog so far in this fight, and I like him in this fight.
That's the bet you should jump on. That's my tip.
I actually
That's
like
a tip
him.
right there.
One of the reasons I do like
you
him
made
too-
Fucking Chael sucks. He sucks. I
wait.
trained with him for years. He wasn't good enough
You
to be in the UFC when I was in the UFC. He's not even good. He could. Come on. Rampage couldn't take down a strong Vanderlei Silva, the real Vanderlei Silva. What the fuck is Chael gonna do? His best chance is to knock him out.
He's
That's
never
his-
been submitted.
That's his
Vanderlei.
best chance is to knock him out.
And you had a good point that Vanderlei was declining to do the press conferences leading up to this fight.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah,
I
and
wanna
his
get
reasoning
fucking-
was he said he didn't want to get into an altercation with Chael and blow the
He didn't
fight
wanna get
prior
into
to the fight.
altercation.
And
with the
Baroni,
New
the
York
real
State.
reason is the way that he didn't
I'm not
come
gonna
to
out the guy
America.
like,
and
not
do
even,
that.
what am I?
You're not going to
mountain guys now. Like,
Okay,
I don't know
all
why.
right, all right.
He wanted a real Brazilian barbecue for this fight. That's why. He didn't want the fake shit. He wanted the real shit.
The problem with Chael is he's lost 4 of his last 5 and didn't just lose them, but he got finished in the first or second
He
round
always
in
gets
all
finished.
4. And that's the discerning part
He
here.
always
This
gets
is a guy who
finished.
gets
He's
finished.
terrible. He knows how to talk pretty good. He's good on the mic. So
Out of his
what?
15 losses, 14 of those were stoppages, and you think this will be any different with Vanderlei Silva?
I like the total here at 1.5 rounds with the over being plus money. Look, we know that Vanderlei's never been submitted, so Chael's probably not going to be the
Chael
first one.
ain't nobody.
To ever do
Who
it.
Chael's? Listen. You keep saying that. That's not even a stat. That's a factor. Because who the fuck is Chael Smith?
Shogun.
This way.
Yeah,
Shogun.
Shogun.
Okay,
one.
He's got a
lucky-
good-
one
I
lucky,
won, yeah.
Lucky one ever. Okay, got lucky once.
But okay,
But that's not even a threat, though.
Vanderlei doesn't submit anyone, and Chael loses all his matches by submission.
All covering up. But yeah, but Vanderlei
covering.
does. Listen, either does Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva doesn't submit anybody either.
He
doesn't
submitted
submit-
Chael.
Yeah, that's my point.
Submitted Luter.
Yeah, because fucking guys with no heart find a way out.
Submitted Dan Henderson.
But I think they
Guys
can
find
make
a way
it
out.
into the midway through the second round in this fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. But Dan, you can't say Dan Henderson with no heart. That one.
I didn't
that
say
one-
Dan Henderson with no heart.
But
Don't put shit in my mouth. I didn't say that. It's
you
like-
said guys with no heart.
Well,
Anderson Silva
he
submitted
pounded
Dan
him,
Henderson.
hurt him. He pounded him, hurt him. Pounded him and hurt him.
choked him out.
Yeah, he just hurt him. He beat him up with his fists.
Got his back and choked
Yeah.
him.
Beat him up.
So, hey, I think underdog money, Vanderlei training in Brazil. There's some value in betting Vanderlei on that fight, on this fight.
Killing
And you
Chael
better
Sonnen
believe
and then going
that's
to
gonna be
Ryzen.
one of my picks.
Kill
What's
Chael Sonnen and then go into Ryzen.
that? Yeah.
Start fighting the Ryzen. Why not?
Why not?
Sounds good. But what's Chael gonna do for Bellator?
So it's all kind of a consensus. Hey, there's some value in betting Vanderlei for this fight for all the reasons we discussed. Anyone rebut this?
I'm not going to bet Vanderlei. I'm just betting the over rounds.
Betting the over. You like the over?
I don't
think
understand
over's
why
a
the
good
under
bet.
is such a lock. Like, why do the odds, make us? The odds would suggest that this fight is expected to end in the first round.
I think if
I don't
end by
see it.
knockout,
Why does
I think
it have to
Chael
end
can
in
have
the
a
first
knockout
round?
easy.
But why does it have to end in the first round? These
I
two
don't
guys
know.
are
A
both
round and a
40
half.
years old. There's no reason that they're going to come out explosive and gangbusters.
That's why though they are gonna.
I think the fact that people say they hate each other means they're going to come out fireworks. And I'm not going to be surprised if they make it into the second round here. And at plus money, I'm willing to lay down and take a shot at that.
Hell of a point. Co-main event: Fedor against Matt Mitrione. Like, we all know Mitrione has no ground, but Fedor looked absolutely terrible in his last fight. Does Fedor do the smart thing and put Mitrione on his back and unleash some of that ground and pound?
Basically, the odds here are a dead pick 'em. So pick your guy, pick who you like. It's a
Matt
dead
Mitrione
pick 'em
always
fight.
finds a way to lose. You ever notice that? Mitrione is a guy that super great.
He's athletic. He's got quick
Yeah.
feet, a long reach.
Heavy
He hits
hands.
hard.
Everything good about him, but he finds a way to lose all the time. He's
But
Eye pokes
breaks.
against Travis Brown.
He just finds a way to lose.
But I
Throughout
mean,
his career, he should be winning these fights, and he's losing them.
but
That's
against,
why they found him for. That's why they found him. For
I didn't know how bad his
They
ground
need Fedor to
was.
win this one. That's why
Yeah.
they found him. I mean, look at it this way too. You guys aren't looking at the real thing. Look who helps the promotion. What the fuck is Chael Sonnen going to do for Bellator and?
They love him. He's doing
I
commentary.
think Vanderlei Silva does it. I think Chael Sonnen, it does commentary when he loses this fight. I think they boosted Vanderlei Silva.
He's been doing that.
But I think that's the thing. That's how I feel.
But-
Look at the matchmaking. What the fuck are you talking about? Look at the matchmaking. You can tell who they want to win. This is like old UFC card. You know all the guys.
Yeah, on
You know what I mean? But you know who they want to win. I think they want Silva. They want Fedor. They want Lima. I mean, they want Chandler. It's an easy one. Davis or Bader's a pick. You know what
I
mean?
don't know if they want Fedor in this one because I don't know that Fedor
What the
wants
fuck
to fight with them anymore.
What do you do with Matt Mitrione? What do you do with Matt Mitrione? Oh, he's good now. He's the
Bellator's
champion
like
now.
But he's
They've been
exciting,
good.
yeah.
What do you do with that guy? That guy is fucking. What can you
he's
do with him?
38, but they do like him.
He either knocks people out or gets knocked out, and you're guaranteed for an exciting fight.
And they've been putting him on
You may
commentary.
not want him beating
on
Fedor.
You don't want to
TV's
maybe give him
kickboxing.
Bobby Lashley next if he wins this one. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Then he's dangerous for Lashley. But Lashley brings the pro wrestling fans.
I actually think there's a lot of fights for Mitrione. Roy Nelson came over. Roy Nelson beat him already.
These
He
are
could
like
fight Roy
hogwash
again.
UFC
He could
fights,
fight
though.
Czech
These are like-
Congo
yeah, but
again.
these, I don't know. I think
They're all under Bellator. Then Bellator needs him to fight somebody. These
I
guys.
guess maybe. Makes sense.
So on paper, I look at this fight and I
He's
say,
the big
okay,
signing. You're saying he's the big signing for Bellator? He
well,
was
he's a big name.
He is?
Fedor?
Fedor's
No,
not
no,
going
no,
to
I'm
stay
talking
in
about
under
Mitrione. I'm talking
Bellator.
about Mitrione.
But-
Well, look at their heavyweights they signed. Roy Nelson, Czech Congo, Mitrione.
So they make all UFC rematches? That's what you're saying?
What else they
What are
going
you
to
gonna
do with them? They all fought each other
Have
already.
young guys beat him, put young guys over.
Yeah,
But who
there's
do they
not a
got
lot
young-
of good young heavyweights.
They don't have any?
Yeah.
All right, back to my point. On paper, you think Fedor is okay, going to take him down, ground and pound him out, easy win for Fedor. But go ahead and watch Fedor's last fight, which was a while ago now, against a light heavyweight in
Maldonado.
Yeah.
Fabio Maldonado. And he was getting his ass whooped in that. He got a
Hurt.
gift of a majority decision.
survived.
Maldonado hurt him.
But he
But
survived.
Maldonado's not a
He
puncher
got
like
out-
Mitrione.
yeah, but he got out of there and survived. Mitrione will find a way to lose in that situation. Mitrione would never survive that.
Don't you think this fight comes
Mitrione
down to
would
one
never
of
would've
two
survived
things?
that.
The
Mitrione
heart
would've found a
goes
way
to
to lose.
Fedor.
I mean,
Yeah.
if Fedor takes
You
him down,
understand
he
what I'm saying?
wins. But if it stays on the feet, doesn't Mitrione take him out?
No.
No?
Fedor's been taking everybody out. He's taking a lot of guys out. Way better than Mitrione.
Yeah,
old, but-
10 years.
Yeah, well, have you ever
So
seen
what?
have you ever seen a fight of Mitrione's where
Who's
he's,
Mitrione taking out?
where
I
he-
was never impressed by a Mitrione
he,
fight.
he
I mean,
makes
that's
a comeback
he's a nice
from the
guy.
clinches
2-0
of
in
defeat.
Bellator.
He has
So
to,
what?
He has to
Oh,
dig
God.
deep and rely on his
What
heart.
does that mean? What does that mean?
No, I mean, yeah, it's like
Oh, he was on the Ultimate Fighter. What the fuck does that mean?
no. Mitrione is one of those guys who
ridiculous.
he either wins and looks great or he loses. He's never one of the guys that deals with adversity well, that shows
Yeah.
a lot of heart, that dig
Yeah, he
deep.
finds a way to lose.
And
That's why
comes
he's the
out.
opponent.
So that's Phil's
That's
point,
why he's the
and I
opponent.
definitely see that here.
If you go back to his UFC debut, look, I don't disagree that he finds a way to lose. I don't think he's great, but we're not talking about the Fedor Emelianenko from 10 years ago either. We're talking about 41-year-old Fedor who
Yeah.
got his ass whipped by Fabio Maldonado and got a gift decision. So we have to look at the reality of the times.
I don't know, but
Matt
what
Mitrione
about
in his first
Fabiano
fight in
Maldonado versus
Bellator.
Mitrione? Who wins that fight? You're talking like Mitrione's gonna walk through Fabiano Maldonado? You know what I mean? I don't see that.
Most guys did at 205.
Not most guys did. He was a good fighter. Not most guys did.
A lot of guys beat him at 205.
If you look at Mitrione's first fight in Bellator, he fights this one of those Pacific Islander kids, and this kid cracks him in the first round, and Mitrione goes down and is basically out cold,
And that's
he
the
gets
reason.
back up and
When
knocks him
Scott
out.
Coker seen that, and they said, "Okay, let's put Mitrione against Fedor." Do you understand that? I'm telling you.
It's gonna be
But I'm
exciting
telling
either
you,
way.
Everybody saw that, and they said, "Okay, Finkelstein, I got Fedor's next opponent." That's how the game works. That's
It
really
could
how
be,
it works.
yeah.
I'm telling you. That could be. I'm telling you. As soon as he fucking knocks him down, I got Fedor's next opponent right here.
Well, I like Fedor in this fight. I'm like, my heart's with Mitrione. He's a Boilermaker, but I think Fedor's going to do the smart thing, put him on his back, and we'll see some ground and pound.
I'm betting Matt Mitrione. And I get the fact that Fedor's better. I'm not arguing that. Look, Fedor in his prime is arguably the greatest heavyweight in MMA history. I'm not arguing that. But that same guy almost should have lost. In America, he loses to Fabio Maldonado. He lost that fight.
And it was in America.
It was in Russia.
I would never have lost a fight in Japan either if it was in America. We'd be undefeated in Japan and Pride. What the fuck does
we
that
have
mean?
a 41-year-old against a 39-year-old in the end who's got more left.
To me, isn't it easy, right? If Fedor gets him down, it's over. If he doesn't, I think that Mitrione...
Mitrione doesn't knock nobody out, though. You acting like Mitrione's some fucking big knockout puncher.
2-0 and 2 knockouts. I think I think all his wins but one are by knockout.
He knocked the Black Beast out.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed
Mitrione, 10 of 11 wins by knockout. So all his wins are by knockout. He knocked out Derek Lewis. I mean, basically, if he wins, he knocks you out. He can't win any other way.
He doesn't win decisions.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Mitrione is 11-5 with 10 KOs.
I just thought, listen, you have a good argument. What kind of knockouts? On the ground knockouts?
no.
All
knocking
one
dudes out
punch
standing.
He's got heavy
knockouts. Yeah.
hands. He's
They're
got
all
long
one
reach,
shots.
heavy hands. He's got like 85-inch reach,
Yeah.
southpaw, quick feet, heavy hands. Standing up, he kills Fedor Emelianenko. His wrestling's not too good. He's like a
his
turtle on
wrestling's
his
not
back.
good,
So
yeah.
Fedor's smart and puts him on the ground, unleashes ground and pound. I think it's his fight.
I think Fedor knocks him out standing.
Moving down the line, Douglas Lima, Lorenz Larkin. And you were surprised to see Lima a slight underdog in this fight.
It actually opened bigger, so the odds have come down a little bit. It opened to Larkin 190, and I think that it had some of that UFC effect here, right? Everyone knows Lorenz Larkin. He has a fighter-friendly, a fan-friendly style. But a lot of people who watch Bellator closely and follow MMA understand that Douglas Lima is the real deal. He's only 29 years old, 7-1 in his last 8 fights, 2-time Bellator welterweight champion, won the title against Ben Saunders, who's in UFC right now, who's a really good fighter. Turn around, lost it to Koreshkov in a hell of a fight, comes back and knocks Koreshkov out. Doug Lima's real deal. He destroyed Paul Daly when they fought. This is a really, really talented guy. Look, I think Lorenz Larkin's really talented too. 4-1 in his last 5, all 4 wins by KO. This is the whole fight of the weekend to me. This is the best fight. Both of these guys can bang. They're both electric. They're both in their prime at 30 and 29 years old. To me, the fight is a dead pick'em. And when you give me a dead pick'em fight and plus 140 at one of the guys, I'm always going to take the dog.
Yeah. You make a good point. Lima is a beast. I like him in this fight as well. Moving down the line, we're not even going to talk Michael Chandler versus Brent Primus. Phil said it best. Bellator loves this guy.
That's their guy.
They love Michael Chandler.
And they also want Larkin to get beat too. Why you want the? You know what I mean?
Why do you want
Douglas Lima's their guy.
Lima beats Lima's over. This is the big fight.
Yeah.
This is Lima's coming out party if he wins this fight, right?
And he's young
Biggest-
for Bellator, 29.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't know what.
Yeah. Ryan, I mean, come on, look at this card. These are old guys. Everyone's around 40 years old on the main
This is
card,
the one
man.
card that this card
It's a
was
good
put
card,
together
though.
as a pay-per-view to bring the novice and the general MMA fan to Bellator, but they gave us this fight here for the diehard MMA fans to say, here's something for you
Legitimate
too.
fight.
2 guys in their prime that are going to throw down.
Phil Davis, Ryan Bader. This is a rematch from about 2.5 years ago. And you know what? Bader may have got the nod in that first fight, but I like Phil Davis in this fight. I think over the last 2.5 years that Phil Davis has improved more. The first fight was a split decision. Could have went either way. So Ryan Bader, when he loses, he usually gets stopped. He usually gets knocked out. Phil Davis, really durable. Hard guy to knock out. He didn't get knocked out by Rommel Johnson. He didn't get knocked out by Lyoto Machida the way Ryan Bader did. So I think that, this fight, even though Bader got the nod the first one, I like Phil in this one.
Don't you think these guys' careers kind of emulate each other? Both collegiate standout wrestlers, although Phil a little more of a standout wrestler in college.
National champion.
Yeah. I mean, they both come into UFC using that wrestling style. Both have limited stand-up. The difference for me is in the first fight, and you can disagree with this, but what I've noticed a lot is, and you'll see it, when you get 2 really good wrestlers, they end up being on their feet because they can't take each other down. That's right. And In the first one, Ryan Bader outworked him. And Ryan Bader has 8 knockouts, and Phil Davis has, what, 4 or 3 knockouts in his whole career. He doesn't have the power. Ryan Bader, at least at times, including in his last fight, Ryan Bader's last win over Yair Latifi, who's a solid 205er, he knocked him out.
Phil Davis, what guys don't realize, he's a national champion, he's a wrestler, but Phil Davis wasn't a takedown wrestler at all. Long legs. He was a mat wrestler. You know, he's a top and bottom guy in fighting. So the fight, where the fight takes place, is going to be dictated by Bader.
Yeah.
Bader determines where the fight. Bader's the double leg takedown guy.
Yeah.
You know, Bader's the shoot through double leg. Bader dictates where this fight takes place.
That's a good point. The other thing I like about this fight, the reason I like Phil Davis is the 5-round fight, man. And Phil Davis is a grinder. He kind of wears you down.
And who has more left? Who has more left? Who wants more?
Who has more left in the tank? I feel
who wants it more? Who wants it more? Who's got more to prove?
I think Bader's been knocked out a bunch of times, and he's been submitted a few times too. So I think Phil's got a little more left. He's just a harder guy to beat. But don't
you think that Bader has the better boxing? Can we agree on that? That Bader has the slightly better boxing.
Short little alligator arms.
He does. I mean, and he has a worse chin. Davis has the better chin. Bader has. If anyone's going to get knocked out, it's going to be Bader by one of those big kicks
doesn't
by
knock
Phil.
people out exactly, not with his hands. But yeah, Phil's a hard guy to get his hands on.
But I mean, what happens different in the first fight? Okay, they couldn't take each other down because they're both wrestlers, and Bader was way more active. What Phil has to do this fight, and sometimes he doesn't, is be active. Because sometimes when he can't get the takedown and he's not really facing a power threat, he just kind of moves around and he doesn't know how to initiate his offense.
Well, he doesn't have a big. He doesn't have a big offense on his feet.
And that's
part of the problem. He doesn't have a big offense on his feet, and he can't. And a good wrestler can't get the fight into the ground, so he has to hang out. He has to hang out and counterfight. He can't dictate the pace. That's what my point is. Bader dictates where his face goes. If this fight's going to be standing, it's because Bader wants it to be standing. You know, Phil Davis ain't going to go out there and take down Ryan Bader.
No, they're not taking each other down, I don't think.
Well, Bader can take him down. Phil Davis isn't a great wrestler. He doesn't have a great takedown defense.
D1 national champ isn't a great wrestler.
But not on the feet wrestler.
Yeah, I see your point.
A ground wrestler.
It's basically a pick 'em in this fight.
Yeah, I think the only thing that may have swayed me, because if this was a 3-round fight again, I actually like Ryan Bader here because I think he's going to be more active and just steal some of those rounds. To your point, Bader, I don't know about Bader going 5, and at least if nothing else, Phil Davis has shown us in this championship run that he's on in Bellator that his endurance is really strong.
It's good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I was leaning towards him.
You know, Bader's training his ass off. This is a title fight.
First time in Bellator, title fight.
Huge in New York City, so it comes down to who, you know.
Phil's just looked good lately.
Super close fight.
Chinzo Machida against the next big hype thing from Ireland, James Gallagher. And you think getting Gallagher at minus 220 is a steal?
I haven't bet this fight, and I normally don't like, we talk about it every week. I don't like betting 20-year-olds. I don't know that they're physically mature or diverse enough yet to handle some of these, guys who have all this experience and are a little bigger and stronger. In this case, I feel like James Gallagher is one of these guys that a lot of people, I don't necessarily agree, but a lot of people think he's going to be a star. He's got the mouthpiece. He's very charismatic. He was one of the most popular fighters over in Europe. The short time he's there, he's only 20 years old. I have to have the feeling here that Scott Coker is trying to match a guy to win. At 20, you're not matching him to lose at 6-0 and 20 years old. And Chinzo Machida brings with him the Machida name from his brother, his older brother or younger brother, actually, Lyoto. In this case, I just don't. I think that Gallagher's probably going to get it done here. Could the event be a little bit too big for him? New York City, get too hyped up, have an energy dump, and end up losing it? Sure. But, Chinzo's not his brother, and I think they want Gallagher to win.
He might have an energy dump, too.
Yeah.
What big fight did he have? Some karate fight?
Yeah.
No, this is his first Bellator fight.
Yeah. Karate Kid.
He could very well. He could be nervous, for sure. Point.
Shit in his pants.
But the real value this weekend, I believe, lies in Sunday's UFC Fight Night card. Very crafty of the UFC not to compete head-to-head with Bellator by putting these fights on Saturday.
Yes.
They put their Fight Night on Sunday. But man, I like some of these odds on the UFC Fight Night. The main event, Michael Chiesa, Kevin Lee, and right now it's Chiesa slight favorite. And you like Chiesa?
The rare true grudge match in UFC. These two actually hate each other. They fought each other at the press conference. I thought Kevin Lee was in the right at the press conference. He wasn't saying anything about his mom.
He won the war of words, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't actually say anything about his mom. Chiesa got all hot and fired up, and hey, you better get someone. Came running across, and Kevin Lee punched him in the face and at the presser.
He pretty much said, yeah, your mom's got a front row ticket to see you get your ass kicked.
But if you take all of the emotions out of this fight and just look at him on paper, we love Kevin. He trains with Nick. He's a local guy here, really charismatic, well-liked in Vegas, only 24 years old. Look, Michael Chiesa has won 5 of his last 6 fights, and you could make a case that he should be on a 6-fight win streak because one of the losses, he was winning against Joe Lozon. They stopped it on a cut. He got hit with one of those killer Lozon elbows, opened up a big gash, and they stopped the fight. So technically, he should be on a 6-fight losing streak, and he's winning streak. And look, really, despite the fact that he doesn't knock a lot of people out, his biggest detriment has been all these injuries, getting hurt. Because Michael Chiesa has been a beast at 155. Yeah. He handled Al Iaquinta easily, a guy who handled Kevin Lee easily. Look, I think it's a really close fight. Kevin Lee has awesome athleticism. He has better, he only has 5 knockouts, but his striking's actually better than his knockout rate. But I think if this thing goes to the ground, like a lot of Kevin Lee fights do, because Kevin's a great wrestler too,
fights.
Michael Chiesa is a beast on the ground.
So who do you give the wrestling advantage to, Phil?
Chiesa.
Because Lee's no joke when it comes to wrestling, but you think Chiesa's a little better.
And bigger.
I wrestled him before.
He's long.
Funny style.
Yeah.
Unorthodox style.
He's awkward. He's long. I kind of like the over in this fight.
Definitely an over.
What is the
over?
2.5 rounds.
They're not.
And it's a 5-round fight.
They're not big punchers.
What is the over?
2.5 rounds. It's a 5-round fight.
Oh, it is a 5-round fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's for the.
It's the main event.
Another interim title.
No, it's not an interim title. It's just the main event.
By TKO? I mean, how do you see him?
Okay.
Or do you see Michael Chiesa submitting him? You got 5 rounds to get him.
I like the over, man. I think they're going to take their time.
Personally, we all do, but I just think Chiesa is so devastating on the ground, and I think that
I'm saying for Ashley, how's he going to win? How can Kevin Lee win? How can you?
He would have to outstrike him and keep the fight standing.
That's how you see him winning.
Because he's really athletic, and he actually does as technical. No, I think it goes to the ground.
Yeah, so
I don't know. I like the over in this fight. That's my pick.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about that, but look, neither one of them's a big puncher, and Michael Chiesa is not a puncher at all, really.
If it's under 2.5 rounds,
unless Chiesa catches him early,
it's probably going to be a submission. 2 really good grapplers. These guys are hard to submit.
But they both tend to finish guys, even though they don't have big power. They actually both get a lot of finishes on the ground.
They do. I just like it because it's a 5-round fight, and you know they're going to feel each other out that first round. And second round, just make it past that.
Maybe not, or maybe not. Maybe they're going to go right after each other.
I mean, yeah, you guys have both been in grudge matches before. You had to have at least fought one guy that you didn't like. I mean, what happens in a fight like this? Are these guys going to be extra
grudge match or not? When you got 5 rounds to work with, you're going to be a little patient that first round. That's just the nature of the beast.
Right after.
Well, Phil, you're usually only good for a round anyway, so.
I mean, what happens when you hate a guy?
On my record, how many do you have? How many knockouts you have? All my wins are by knockout.
I know, yeah.
How many finishes do you have? How many finishes do you have?
Like, why?
Is it extra?
Why wouldn't you take your time in a 5-round
energy
fight?
right away if you hate somebody?
Why? Just get it fucking over with. I can get it over with. You can't. If I couldn't get it over with, I would probably take my time.
Yeah, exactly.
I can get it over with.
And these guys are more like me. They're grinders. They take their time in there.
It's a good bet.
That's why I like the bet.
I actually like the over. I think it's strong.
If it was like, if it was someone with your punching power, then I would not bet the over in this fight.
And I think the one problem Kevin has had is with, when you look at the Trinaldo fight, Trinaldo was able to hit him early. I mean, Trinaldo caught him a few times in the first. Yeah. He's a slow starter. But he's more a slow starter against punchers. So, and I don't think that Chiesa is going to come out punching. So to your point, the over may be really strong here.
I think that's the best bet in this fight.
And I think Chiesa at plus money. I mean, we all like Kevin, but I think there's actually some value there. Chiesa should probably be a small favorite here.
Yeah.
He's more established. Kevin's only fought 2 ranked guys or 2 guys that have ever been ranked in his career, and he's 1-1 against them. Chiesa's fought 6 guys officially ranked in the UFC, and he's 4-2 and should be 5-1 against them because one of them was a cut stoppage. I mean, he has more experience. He's been in there with some bigger fights.
That's true. Plus money, slight plus money is plus 110 right now. So.
He should probably be the 135. Lee should probably be the
other way
110,
around. Yeah.
Next.
Hey, here's some value here. Tim Bosch versus Johnny Hendricks. Bosch is almost a 2-1 dog in this fight. He's plus 180 right now. And honestly, he's a bigger guy. He's fought at 205. A lot of fights at 205. He's a huge 185er. Hendricks is coming up from 170. And Bosch is a pretty good wrestler. I don't see Hendricks taking Bosch down. And Bosch has heavy hands. He knocks people out in this fight.
It's no question a wrestler. Johnny Hendricks is a Division I national champion, one of the best college wrestlers.
Look, I train with Matt Couture's. He's small. He's a small guy. Bosch is a big guy.
He'll take his ass down. It's like me taking you down. You're a big guy, but I can take you down so easy. You can never stop a takedown.
Look, Hendricks
you know
can take me down.
Someone's a wrestler and somebody's not.
Somebody's
a wrestler and somebody's not. Who says Hendricks has trouble with big guys?
I'm just saying.
That's a made-up stat.
He's a 2-1.
Dude, just pulled that stat out of your ass.
He lost that fight.
He got knocked out by Stephen Thompson.
Oh, you got smoked by Wonder Boy. I just saw this, and I just saw Tim Bosch at plus 180, and I saw some value there.
I don't blame you. And
Hendricks gets him out of there.
I mean, Hendricks has had some problems.
Gets him out of there.
Hendricks has a 3-fight losing streak at welterweight, and he moves up to middleweight, but his debut at middleweight was really against a welterweight in Hector Lombard. And he beat him by decision. He hasn't had a stoppage since 2012 against Martin King.
Did he beat Hector Lombard?
And he couldn't take him down.
Who wins, Hector Lombard or Tim Bosch?
Tim Bosch beat Hector Lombard.
Oh, did he? He sucks. No way. I don't like that fight.
Yeah, he did.
I don't believe that fight.
Bosch did beat him.
How did he beat him? Decision?
I think he knocked. No, it wasn't a decision.
I didn't believe that fight ever happened. I don't believe that fight ever happened.
It did happen.
Fully shit.
Hector Lombard's UFC.
Fully shit. He had the fucking flu.
Lombard's
had the flu.
Was at 185, and he lost to Tim Bosch.
Lombard had herpes that day. Sick.
I just say, say what you want. If this were a pick-em, I'd see your point, Phil. But plus 180, I like Bosch.
There is no possible way. I wasn't eager to jump on Bosch, and I actually looked at the over in this fight too because I didn't really see either guy stopping him. But I didn't want to lay a big over in a
Bosch ever
3-round
beat?
fight.
Hendricks was the UFC
Bosch has beat some dudes.
champion. Bosch
actually won 2 of his last 3.
3 different weight classes.
Yeah,
he's
a big guy. He's tough. He's got a good chin. He knocks people out. He's got good wrestling. He wrestled D1 college, hard guy to take down. And at this kind of money, these are the type of bets I like. If you could get him at 2-1 dog, I like it.
I don't blame you. I'm not betting this fight. It's a complete stay away from me. There's no way at this point in Johnny Hendricks' career that I could lay, 220 or 210 with Hendricks in any fight. Bosch is going to be gigantically, huge size difference here. He's going to look huge compared to Johnny Hendricks. And I think there's a possibility that Johnny Hendricks just outworks him. Just kind of uses his footwork, moves around, gets in the clinch, and outworks him. But I don't want to lay 220 that he doesn't get hit with one of those big Tim Bosch right hands.
And Bosch though, like if Hendricks tries to grind him, Bosch got a good gas tank. He's won some fights in the third. That Okami fight he was supposed to lose, he knocked him out in the 3rd round. He's got good cardio. He gets late round stoppages, and
Johnny just doesn't seem to have any bang anymore for whatever the issues he used to have.
Yeah,
he hasn't had a knockout since Martin Campman way back then.
He's knocking this motherfucker out. Guaranteed. He's knocking this fucking dude out. Here comes the knockout. Bosch can't move. Oh, he's going to eat a fucking shot and be sleeping. So stupid, you guys. Let's go next.
Felice Herrig, Justine Kish. I'm not. This one's a pick'em. You like Felice?
I like Felice's better ass. I'm friends with him.
This is one of my favorite actually picks here. I'm gonna bet this fight over, regardless of what the total comes out. 2.5 over minus money, but I'm betting it over. Felice Herrig, super tough. All 6 of her losses are by decision. She's never been stopped in her career. And look at the talent level she's fought. She just beat an undefeated fighter in Grasso in her last fight. She's won 3 3 out of 4. She's fought Paige Van Zandt, Tisha Torres. I mean, she's been in there with some of the best 115-pounders. Herrig's going to be in there at the end, win or lose in this fight. And I just think this is a huge step up for Kish. Kish is 6-0, and she is 2-0 in the UFC. But she was 4-0 at 4 submissions coming into the UFC. This unbelievable submission whiz, 2 wins by decision in the UFC. She's not stopping Felice Herrig, and I feel like the jump up in competition, Felice's technical striking's really sound.
So, Matt, a lot of good points on why he's picking Felice Herring in this fight. Phil Baroni likes Felice because she has a nice ass.
Yeah.
And I'm staying away from this one. So, moving on. Joaquin Christensen, Dominic Reeves. Let's just skip that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Alex Garcia, Tim Means. Tim the Dirty Bird. He's a long guy. He's a minus 220 favorite in this fight, but you bet Alex Garcia.
This is one of those situations where every once in a while I make a bet. I come in here and I talk to Stephan and I go, I just made this bet and I hate it. And this is one of those fights where the first time I looked at this fight, I bet Alex Garcia. I actually like him. He trains at TriStar. He's right in his prime. He showed some unbelievable wrestling, and I thought, and he has pop too. And I'm like, all right, this is a great fight for Garcia here because Means is really susceptible to being submitted.
Yeah.
A lot of his losses come by guys submitting him. And then I went back and watched the Garcia losses to Neil Magny and Sean Strickland, and they both look like Tim Means. Super long, super tall guys that are basically stand-up strikers, and they both beat the crap out of Alex Garcia, who couldn't handle that length and that reach against 2 of those strikers. So I think if it goes to the ground, sort of like the Fedor Mitrione fight, except
who are the strikers that beat him up? Tall strikers?
Neil Magny and Sean Strickland.
Tall guys.
Yeah.
Wrestlers, guys that he couldn't take down.
Yeah. And both really long, really long.
That he couldn't take down. No
that he couldn't take him down, yeah.
Yeah.
If he gets Means down, I think he'll submit him here. The problem is if he doesn't, he's going to get chewed up.
How good is Beans' takedown defense? How good of a wrestler is Beans?
Not very good.
Yeah, so he might take him down easy.
Yeah. But yeah, there's some value, and if you get Alex Garcia at almost a 2-1 dog, there's some value in that. That's my kind of bet. I like that one too.
I mean, this one might be a good play on the under too. We'll have to see when the totals come out tonight. But I mean, this one's either Alex Garcia is going to submit him early, or Tim Means is likely to knock him out. I mean, Tim Means has 18 KOs and 26 wins and an over 85% finish rate. This is a guy who gets it done or gets finished himself quite often. So, the under here might be a good play too.
And finally, next, BJ Penn fighting again. He's coming fighting Dennis Seaver. Seaver, a minus 220 favorite, but BJ Penn hasn't had a win since 2010 when he beat Matt Hughes.
He can't lose to Seaver. He takes his back and chokes him. He takes Dennis Seaver's back and chokes him. Ready to get choked first round.
I wanted to bet BJ when this line came out because it's such a big number.
Yeah.
It's such a big plus money. And look, they're both 38. Seaver hasn't fought in 2 years either. And when he did fight, he didn't look very good either in his last fight.
And it was before USADA.
Before USADA, and he was a huge 155er. He's probably going to look deflated in this fight. Keep that in mind.
So, I mean, he had already kind of looked deflated when he fought Conor McGregor. And look, this is not Conor he's fighting in a 38-year-old BJ Penn, but Conor just did whatever he wanted. Seaver didn't do anything in that fight. And then since then, he lost to Kawajiri or something at 145. And then it was 2 years since he fought. And he's won 3-1 in his last 5 fights. And BJ is going to have for a change here because BJ was going against significant height and reach disadvantages in his last fight. In this one, he's actually going to have significant height and reach advantages. Look, there's a couple of really smart MMA guys I talked to on Twitter and I said, look, I think I'm going to bet BJ, and they said, wait, he's looked so bad lately. You might be able to get a better number. They both said they didn't want to really bet him. They weren't going to bet Seaver either, but I'm going to wait, and if I can get like plus 200 or plus 220, I may be throwing a shot on the Prodigy tomorrow.
Yeah, that's one of my style bets too. A good point.
I mean, BJ, how does Dennis Seaver?
BJ has good hands, but he hasn't had a reach advantage in a long time. He's got a good jab and good boxing, good fundamentals, and like Phil Baroni said, with USADA involved, expect to see a deflated Dennis Seaver.
I didn't say that.
You said USADA was involved, so
I didn't say that. But anyway, good.
All right, I like this one. Clay Guida versus Eric Koch. I think Eric Koch's kind of similar to Anthony Pettis. He doesn't have the strongest hips, the best takedown defense, and right now Clay's a a plus 240 underdog in this fight, and he's got that style where he just grinds guys out. He pushes them up against the cage. Personally, I hate it. I'd totally be rooting for Eric Koch if I wasn't going to bet this fight, but at plus 240, I think Clay Guida could grind his way to a decision in this fight, in a terribly boring decision, but nonetheless a decision that will make me some money.
When was the last time he did that, though? When was the last time? Yeah, when was the last time?
Look it up. Yeah. Matt, you want to touch on
the
this?
one
when
thing?
Was the last time we did that? You know when the last time we did that was?
I'll look it up.
Because you remembering shit from 5 years ago. How about now? When was the last time we ground out some?
That's his style,
problem
man.
That's his style 5 years ago. You know what I mean?
He did that 2 years ago at Robbie Peralta. Since then, he tried to do that with Diego Tavares. He got caught in a guillotine, and then he had the fight in the bag against Brian Ortega. But in the third round, with 20 seconds left, he ate a knee and got knocked out.
I do remember the Ortega fight where he got knocked out, and he was winning that fight actually. And Ortega came in the undefeated prospect, and Ortega was huge compared to Clay in that fight.
So the UFC trying to rewind that?
I don't know. The one thing I wonder is that you always tell me, and I try to look out for it, is miles on guys. Not number of fights, but miles. Clay Guida has been in so many wars, so many tough fights, and at some point it's got to wear on him. And I just don't know when.
Get old?
Yeah.
When's he gonna get old? Is this gonna be it?
Look, if it's the same Clay, look, his last fight, we're not going back 5 fights ago. He was winning his last fight against a really good undefeated prospect in Brian Ortega, and he got caught in the third. If that same Clay shows up again, he could win this fight, but how many times can that Clay keep going through these wars?
Well, he was just here last time, so I'm thinking maybe this time. I'm probably going to bet on this time. If he was just here last time, I think maybe you could bet he'll be back this time. I don't know.
Hey, look, I'm not a big fan of his style. I would be rooting for Eric Koch any day of the week, but since I could get Clay at 2.5 to 1 dog, I'm going to put a little bit on him. That's my type of bet, and I think there's some value in that.
Yeah, look, the only way I would bet is with you on this one. There's no way I'm laying money with Eric Koch here. And Eric, he's had so many injuries the last couple of years, too. I mean, I remember after...
what Eric Koch are we going to see?
That's right. That we don't know really what we're going to see there either.
Yeah, his last fight was a win. He actually got a stoppage. Oh, he fought a little over a year ago. He got a rear naked choke over Shane Campbell.
But he's a guy that when you look at his average, he ends up averaging like 1 fight every 14 months because he's always dealing with some kind of nagging injury.
Yep. And there were fights he didn't look too good in, like Dustin Poirier kind of was able to smoke him pretty easily, got a decision. Yeah. And Ricardo Lamas got on top and started hammering him with elbows and got a stoppage. So I think Clay Guida, Eric doesn't have the strongest hips. I think this is Clay's kind of fight. He's going to grind him. He's going to get takedowns. It's going to be boring. And at plus 240, I can't pass that one up. I'm throwing a little bit on Clay.
I'm with you. I think that's probably the right side for value.
See, other than that, anything stand out to you? Other than that, like Phil said, who are these guys?
I thought about playing Marina Moroz at plus 210. I'll probably have a small play on her.
I like that bet as well.
I don't like Carla Esparza.
No.
I think she's completely one-dimensional, and when she doesn't get the takedowns, she almost always gets beat.
And even that dimension isn't that good.
That's right.
If you saw her last couple fights, her last fight against Ronda Marks in particular, she couldn't take Ronda down. Ronda, it's not like she has super strong hips. And, and Ronda hit her a bunch, and Ronda doesn't have the greatest hands either. So I just think Carla can't spell defense, and she's a 2.5 to 1 favorite, which is, to me, a red flag.
And sometimes in sports, and we talk about it all the time, odds on some people, teams, athletes, whatever, are inflated just because of name value. Yes. And Carla Esparza
former champion.
The first ever women's
no one else
flyweight
is in the division.
That's right. First ever women's strawweight champion. Yeah. And, at this point, she's been exposed several times.
When I went around saying I want to fight former UFC state champion Steve Jenham next. He was a champion. Yeah. Yeah, that's the only other one I cared to touch on in this fight. Nothing else jumps out at you.
The only other one that I thought was interesting is Michael Quinones, Jerry Gordon were supposed to fight each other about 2 months ago. The fight got canceled, and now they're rescheduling the same exact fight, but the odds in that fight were Gordon minus 150, and people were betting him at that price. Yet, despite the fact that nothing's happened in those 2 months, they rescheduled the fight. It opened Gordon minus 130 here, so probably a little
value. Who the
value.
hell's betting on that fight? I know you're paying attention to the move, but who the fuck is betting big money on the Gordon? Somebody knows something about Gordon? Put $250 on it. The fucking line moves. What a bullshit! I'm playing fucking bookie now. The line moved. Like 4 people made that fucking bet. Moved the line. $27. What the fuck? Smart move though. That's a smart bet. I like that.
So you're taking Quinones.
Way to look alive. Yeah.
Oh man, that was a fun show, I tell you. But big weekend. Bellator on Saturday, UFC on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to it. You got our bets. Good luck to you guys for the New York Badass, Phil Baroni and Matthew Holt. I'm Stephan Bonnar saying see you later.